All right. We are here for F101 2026, week 11. It's the Monaco Preview. A lot of people are out, and that's okay. Right now, it's just me, and my laptop's being really annoying, and that's fine. Sam should be here late, though. I haven't heard from Nate. Everyone else is either out of the country or getting ready to get out of the country or do something else important this weekend. So it's another solo show, which is totally okay with me. And just checking, making sure everything is good. Let's get into it. It's the Monaco preview. This weekend is Monaco. The crown jewel of F1, they call it. The oldest track, the most historic track. You you know, you know it. It's Monaco. Everyone knows Monaco, even if you don't know Monaco. All the celebrities are there. You got the yachts. It's a crazy street circuit. We'll get into all of it later, and most importantly, it's boring. So I'm a Monaco hater, but I've always been, and that's okay. Um, but first, let's get into this weekend schedule. Practice one is Friday at 7:30 a.m., followed by practice two, which is Friday at 11. There's no sprint in Monaco, which would, I could see them doing a sprint eventually, maybe, but I think it would be a terrible, terrible idea if they did. Um, but we did have a sprint in Miami after like 5 weeks of no racing, and it went fine, I guess. Monaco is just different. But two qualifying sessions would be fun. Anyway, then practice three is Saturday at 6:30 a.m. Qualifying is Saturday at 10 a.m. And the race, quote unquote race, is Sunday. Excuse me, at 9 a.m. So let's get into our quick track stats. Monaco is the most historic track, like I mentioned. It's the OG street circuit, and it's been on the F1 calendar since the sport's inception, only not being run during World War II and a couple other times for random issues like the death of their prince, or, a lack of regulations in the sport, or COVID, small stuff, really. Small stuff is what keeps Monaco out of the calendar. It's also part of the Triple Crown of Motorsport, which is like considered to be the most prestigious, I guess, uh, accomplishment in motorsport, and that is to win the Monaco Grand Prix, win the 24 Hour of Le Mans, and win the Indy 500. Graham Hill is the only driver in history to ever do that. Although a lot of people have tried, well, not a lot, but many have tried, including Fernando Alonso, Bruce McLaren, Jim Clark, and Mario Andretti, who we've all spoken about. Hello, Nate.
Give me just I lost my earbuds.
Take your time. I'm just gonna keep rolling. The track itself is like 3.337 kilometers, 78 laps, equaling a total different distance, of 260 kilometers. So that's 40 kilometers under 300, which is like the bare minimum. It's the shortest race by distance, obviously, and it's allowed to stay on the calendar despite not being 300 kilometers, because of the historic reasons. Lewis has the fastest lap here in a race with a 1:12.909 set in 21, but Lando got pole last year with a lap record of a 109.954 in a crazy lap at the end of Q3. And then he went on to win the race. And
Oh,
Dave isn't
you can
here.
repeat that one.
Dave isn't here. So Dave isn't here, and no, Lando went and won from pole, and then he went and won the championship. But there is not necessarily a strong correlation between winning Monaco and winning it all, at least not in recent years. But Dave isn't here, so this fact, unfortunately, will be lost to him. I'll have to bring it up next time. But there have been 5 overtakes in Monaco's over the past 2 years. 5 non-lap one overtakes. So any overtake happening on lap one is not considered like as part of the race overtake stats for whatever reason. So there's been 5 overtakes in Monaco, and Lance Stroll has 3 of them.
Wait, shut up.
There have been 5 overtakes. There was 1 overtake in Monaco
No.
last year, and it came from Lance. There were 4 the year before, and 2 of them came from Lance.
Oh my God.
Or maybe it was 4 last year and then 1 the year before. But regardless, it's one had 4, one had 1, and in that one, I'm pretty sure was last year. It was Lance who got The only overtake in the race.
You've got to be freaking kidding. You know, I just saw something today, and Lance was saying like how some drivers will enjoy Monaco more than others in quote unquote these cars.
Yeah.
I didn't. That's hilarious. It's just like
Uh,
the timing.
oh yeah. So Lance is he's the there's been a lot of Senna comparisons. Like Senna is the king of Monaco. He's won it the most out of anyone. Thinking Lance Stroll might be the next, minus the dating a 15-year-old, the next Senna.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
so that those are the quick track stats. You can look up all sorts of historic stuff about this. Like there was the one time Jaguar was in F1 and they had a diamond on their car, like an actual diamond, and someone stole it. And I don't know if they ever found out who did, which is really funny. There's all sorts of history, all sorts of iconic moments, all sorts of whatever. Um, but we're not a history podcast. This is the number one F1 comedy show that airs live on Twitch, 6:30 p.m. the Thursdays before and after a race. So no one else in that time slot is doing what we do, and in the way we're doing it. So, um, the race is on Saturday, kinda. That is my next header here. The race is on Saturday, kinda. Yes, the official race is actually on Sunday, but Monaco is too narrow and the cars are too wide, meaning overtakes are essentially impossible. You can get lucky with a pit stop or maybe a lockup from someone coming out of the tunnel, but other than that, you can't overtake unless the car in front of you bins it. This turns Sunday into a driver's parade, especially if there's a red flag on lap one, which everyone changed their tires and there's no actual racing, just like there was in 2024. Um, Qualifying, however, is electric. It's narrow, it's somewhat fast, and the drivers are dancing on the edge trying to get on pole, which basically guarantees a win. Once you accept that the race for the excuse me, once you accept that the race for the win is on Saturday during qualifying, Monaco becomes a lot more enjoyable. I'm still a Monaco hater in terms of the actual race, but I understand it's not going anywhere, nor is it going to change in any meaningful way. So I look forward to Saturday, and then I don't pause the race on Sunday if I have to get up and make coffee or use the restroom or something like that. I kind of just let it go. So, um, any drama is usually a pit stop failure, like Valtteri back in 21, no, 22, where hit no, maybe it was 21, where his car didn't they couldn't get the wheel off, the tire off. Or the Leclerc like come in, no, 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 stay out, and he's like, it's too late. Um, so or Leclerc binning it, or one of the rookies crashing into the wall. Uh, but usually the excitement's on Saturday. And once you accept that, it becomes better. I think it becomes a better experience because you're not like, oh man, I woke up early-ish on a Sunday and I got nothing for it. And things like that, it's like, you know what? I kind of expected this to happen. Um, but that being said, I think all of the drivers really do love Monaco, especially qualifying, even if they don't love the race. And if you get the chance, I would recommend watching like an onboard of a qualifying lap on Monaco. It's scary. They are so close to the walls, and the walls are really high compared to every other street circuit. Um, so I recommend watching, like just Googling Lando's on board for his pole position. Any pole position on board lap is really would be good to watch. Lando, Leclerc, and Max and Lewis all have pole positions here, and so they would all be good candidates depending on which one you like more than the others. So personally, let's just say Max Verstappen. No, I'm kidding. Um, so the race preview, I'm doing it a little differently. Um, Normally I take it team by team. I'm kind of taking it team by team here, but I'm not talking about the race at really at all. Um, and we'll get into what I mean by that as we go. But first, it is the home race of Charles Leclerc, the hometown hero. He won this race in 2024 and was properly cursed prior to that. Oh man, he had a horrible time every time he came to Monaco. It was either bad strategy or crashing or, not being able to start because he crashed in qualifying after qualifying on pole. He had a really horrible run of it, and then in 2024 he kind of broke that curse. After winning, obviously he didn't win in 25, but he didn't have a horrible time like he was having. Um, and Ferrari is coming into Monaco as the favorite to take the win. Mercedes and McLaren have been hyping Ferrari up as like the favorite, as they're gonna be like the best car. They've been better in the low speed corners than Mercedes and McLaren, and on a track where everything is low speed, that's a pretty big advantage. There's also no active aero since the straights on the track aren't long enough. Whoa. Um,
Sorry.
no, you're all good. There's no active aero since the straights on the track aren't long enough, so the engine disadvantage won't be as big here. I already saw that Mercedes, Red Bull, McLaren, and Alpine have made modifications to their rear wings. They've added more like kind of mini wings in the center. Um, the regulations state that your rear wing cannot go above a certain height, but it doesn't. There's a amendment for like where the actuator would be, which splits the rear wing open and closed. And there's no height limit on that. So they've all attached like weird little mini wings to that little part. Um, and we'll see if it works or not. But Mercedes was the first like team to like announce it. A bunch of people I saw were really mad, thought it was cheating. But then McLaren's doing it, Red Bull's doing it, Alpine's doing it, and suddenly there's a lot less talk about Mercedes kind of cheating. So it's a loophole, and F1's all about finding the loopholes. Um, so yes, the no active aero, the engine disadvantage for Ferrari will not be as big here as it has been in other tracks. Um, Leclerc won once here in 24, and Hamilton surprisingly has only won here 3 times in 2008, 2016, and 2019. So, but both do know how to win here. And it's surprising because it's like every other track we go to that's not like new, like Vegas or Miami. It's like oh, who has the most wins here? Lewis. How many does he have? Like 18, even though he hasn't been in
Mm.
the sport that long. But it's like he's got 10 wins here and 9 wins here and 8 wins here and 8 and 7 and 8 and 9. It's like okay, but he's only won 3 times in Monaco.
Mm.
Um, Leclerc is currently leading Hamilton in their qualifying head-to-head, but it's only by 1. So either of them can take it here. As we saw in Canada, when the car agrees with him, Hamilton is excellent. Anything can happen though, especially here, and all it takes is one bad run in a very crowded Q1 or a clip of the wall, and your Monaco dream is over. And let's be honest, do any of us have faith that Ferrari is going to navigate that crowded Q1 well?
Yes.
Well, someone has to. Someone has to. And it's interesting, they added an extra minute to Q3. So Q3 is 13 minutes instead of 12. But Q1 and 2 are still the same time.
What?
Like
Wait,
you would think
why?
you should add the time to Q1,
Yeah.
but I think it's to give everyone in Q3 a chance to do like a traffic, I guess not traffic free, but to have space to do a lap without being impeded.
Mm.
But I,
So you got to
if I
earn
had to
that
choose a
unimpeded
qualifying
lap.
session to add a minute to, I would probably do Q1. So we'll see how qualifying goes. But yeah, so and Ferrari they've been decent qualifiers. So if they qualify well here, which I think everyone is kind of expecting them to, they'll probably unless they Ferrari it, are gonna, you know, they're the favorites, and not just from like random people. It's like Mercedes and McLaren have been very much hyping up Ferrari. So well, let's move on to Mercedes here. Unless you got anything to say about Ferrari, I know you're a Leclerc believer.
I'm a Leclerc believer, but I mean, I guess I should wait till later, until a later segment. I think. I don't know. Would it be appropriate right now?
I mean, I don't know what you're about to say.
It'd mostly just be like heading into Monaco, like my thoughts on why. But I feel like I should wait till. I feel like I should wait till later. The more I think about it.
All right. Well, I'll go through
Yeah.
my stuff,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and then you just jut in.
Word.
So let's move on to Mercedes. While Mercedes haven't downplayed their chances here, they've definitely been talking a lot about Ferrari. So Mercedes hasn't been like, oh, we're going to suck, but they've been like, oh, Ferrari is going to be really good. F1 is also changing how they test engine parts. This has been a huge thing in the news, specifically targeting the compression ratios of something in the engine. I don't remember what, which could hurt Mercedes, but if I know anything about F1, it's that it won't matter. So putting all that aside, I'm not like, I don't want to talk about what might happen. I'd rather talk about like what hap if something does happen, especially with stuff like this where it's like odds are nothing is going to happen. So putting that aside, we got to talk about the two leaders in the WDC. Antonelli's on fire right now. No one can deny it. And especially because Russell is the better driver in Canada, but Antonelli still won, and that has to sting. That's gonna hurt no matter what Russell says. And we know it hurts because we saw his reaction to it. Um, both drivers though were really bad here last year. They sucked here last year. Antonelli especially was really bad here last year. But I don't think the team has tempered expectations. They've got a better car. Their car last year was horrible. So they're better car, more capable. They're still the fastest. But I think if Antonelli were to win here, I think that would be a bigger blow than Canada in the fight. I think winning here would be bigger than winning in Canada for Antonelli, even if Russell was the better driver in Canada. Mercedes may say they're going to be slower than Ferrari, but I don't fully buy it. This is also a big chance for Russell regardless, since he's got way more experience here than Antonelli, and that counts here more than any other racetrack. How many times you've been around Monaco is way more important than how many times you've been around a place like Silverstone. Not to downplay Silverstone. I'm just trying to think of like what's a racetrack that like
Mm,
there's a
yeah.
lot of runoff. Everyone's been to all
Yep.
of the time. F2 goes there. F3 goes there. F2 only sometimes goes to Monaco. F3 doesn't go to Monaco. So it's and the difference in the F2 and one cars are going to be starker in Monaco because they're faster, even if Monaco itself is slow. So experience really, really counts in Monaco. So that I think might be the difference, or could be the difference in Antonelli and Russell. But I, you know, I'm not going to count out Antonelli. He's on fire. He's doing great. Wouldn't be surprised to see him put it on pole. Um, but with Antonelli and Russell and the McLarens and the Ferraris, all I got, and I'm going to read this verbatim how I wrote it. Saturday is going to be damn good. So
Mm.
that is when you look at the qualifying, the Mercedes have been relatively even, and their starts, though, as we know, Kimi's starts have been really bad. But the run from the start finish line to turn one is not very long. So it's going to be harder. Let's say it's a Mercedes 1-2, and then it's a Ferrari 3-4. It's going to be hard for Ferrari even to get past both Mercedes because there's not a lot of time to do it. And then you're going up the hill and then the Mercedes have their speed back and they're fine. So uh but P2 could overtake P1 definitely. And not that, you can't overtake from 4 or whatever, but it's just difficult. So I think the battle between the two Mercedes in qualifying going to be something to watch. I want to put it more on experience, but I find it hard to believe in Russell right now. My Russell stock is low. Um, so and maybe that's
Yeah,
just
I
because
can agree
Antonelli
with
has more
that.
momentum. But then I look at Monaco and I'm like, oh no, Antonelli did not do well here last year, and neither did Russell. But again, like Russell finished 11th, Antonelli finished 19th. So Um, Russell also did put the chicane at the end of the tunnel and just accepted the penalty, which was wild. But um, oh, there's and also the reason they did poorly partly is because they forgot it was a two stop, which is not the case anymore. They got rid of that because it didn't work. Um, so it's no longer a mandatory two stop, which is not much of a surprise. Um, so yeah, I think it really just comes down to which one do you think can qualify better, and when you take an experience into account, or you take in momentum, you take in raw pace. Do you think Antonelli is just overall maybe faster than Russell, but Russell has more? maybe experience and strategy and racecraft. I do think Russell does have better racecraft than Antonelli, at least right now. We saw Antonelli trying to overtake Russell a bunch in Canada, didn't work. So,
Mm.
but speed is more important here because it's all about qualifying. And you can burn through your tires because you're only going to pit once in the race anyway. It doesn't matter. So, um, the ideal scenario for F1, like for the driver in first, is to have carnage on lap one, red flag, change to hard tires, and then just cruise like what happened in 24. Now, that sucks to watch, but if I'm on pole position, that's what I want to happen. so, so it just comes down to who do you think can qualify better? Um, but what about McLaren? They won here last year. Yes, they did. And Norris had the qualifying lap of a lifetime to get it done. They, like Mercedes, though, have been talking up Ferrari. But so the drivers were talking up Ferrari. Lando and Oscar were like, Ferrari's gonna be really good. But Stella was like, we're gonna be good here too. Like our performance in low speed corners is really good as well. So that should help them potentially be ahead of Mercedes this weekend. It's hard to buy into the McLaren hype when the Ferrari hype though is so high. No offense to McLaren, but it's not just that the Ferrari hype is higher. It's that the Ferrari hype is being pushed by McLaren and Mercedes. But is that just sandbagging? Probably, at least a little. It's hard to assess, but I think they'll be good here. And strangely, I think there's a potential for a Mercedes left podium. I could see a Ferrari 1-2 and a Mercedes and a McLaren in third. In the qualifying battle, Piastri has Norris beat by 1 in race qualifying head to head, but Norris is 3-0 in the sprint qualifying. So Norris, and I don't think anyone really is going to disagree, is the better qualifier between the two, especially now. So like I say right here, he feels like the stronger qualifier. I think he just is the stronger qualifier, and he was definitely the stronger qualifier here last year. So I give Norris the edge out of the two McLarens. But Piastri, if Piastri ends up being the fast McLaren, also wouldn't be surprised that much. I think they're a lot closer in speed overall than maybe people like to admit. But Lando, I think I'm not saying that they're even. I think Lando is faster. But weird stuff can happen. So who do you think is the better qualifier right now? For me, that's Norris. Now, is he able to put it on the pole? It's hard to tell because we don't know how good Ferrari's really going to do, and then you got to believe in Ferrari, which is hard for different reasons. So, um, so that's our top three, and then unless Nate, you got anything to say about McLaren, about your
No,
boys?
nothing for Monaco. I kind of
So a
agree with the
thousandth
point that you
race, right?
stated. Like, yes, 1000th GP,
Yeah, they
rocking
have a
a
special
special
livery.
little livery for that. Yep.
Yeah, Audi has a special livery too. I just saw it today. It's fine.
Oh, I did not peep that.
It's yellow. There's like a little. They basically replaced the red with yellow. Oh, and Aston has a
Mm.
special livery as well. There's like some brown in
Huh.
there.
Yeah,
And
I
then
saw that. I was not a fan of that.
yeah, and then Leclerc has a special race suit, but
I
I don't know
like
if
the Leclerc
Lewis is
race suit.
also gonna be wearing a special suit. I don't know if that's allowed. I think they have to wear this, but maybe they don't. I don't know. Uh,
Mm.
Brian
Well,
posted it, and it was only Leclerc, and they said Leclerc is wearing a special race suit, and I'm like, well, what about the other guy? Like, so we'll find out, I guess, on Friday, tomorrow morning when we see. But I don't think they have a livery to go with it, though. I think it's just the suit. And then I know that no one else has one, at least not they've announced. So uh, yeah. So McLaren opinions.
yeah, I've got nothing additional.
All
I do
right.
like Norris as the faster McLaren for this weekend.
Yeah, I'm
Of
with you.
course, anything is possible, and the gap between both is not that big, not that large a gap. But I think I favor Norris for this weekend.
And I'm with you on that one. Um, welcome, Sam.
Hello.
Welcome.
Wow.
Good timing. We're just about to talk about your favorite team. Red Bull. You used to have this. No, I'm just kidding. You missed the Mercedes part. You missed the Mercedes, but that's okay.
Oh,
Um, Red Bull kind of used to have this aura of being the Monaco team and designing their car to win at Monaco. I blame Will Buxton for this. I'm not sure that was ever true. They do have a lot of iconic moments here, and that is undeniable. Recently, though, it has not been kind to them, and I kind of expect that to continue. Maybe we get a Max Verstappen masterclass in qualifying, and maybe the low-speed nature of the track disguises some of their issues, but I'm not betting the house on it. And as good as Hadjar has been, if there is a Red Bull miraculously on pole, it'll be Verstappen. I think we can all agree on that. Although Hadjar, he did qualify sixth last year in the Racing Bulls, but importantly, in fifth was Verstappen. So I think they'll be able to navigate the crowded qualifying sessions well. They're very good at that. Their strategy is very good. Their pit wall is great. But with how good I think Ferrari's going to be and McLaren's going to be and Mercedes, I think are still going to be faster than Red Bull. Um, if there is a Red Bull surprise, it'll be Verstappen. And he's the better qualifier between him and Hadjar. I don't think anyone's going to argue that point,
I don't know.
unless Sam decides to put Hadjar on his podium. Someone's got to be the Dave of the week. So,
Is Dave not
um,
voting this week?
no, he is. I have his podium.
Okay.
So, but he's not here.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that's Red Bull. And now I'm going to hit the midfield all at once because it's such a toss up. Again, nature of Monaco can disguise inherent weaknesses in the cars, so I look to the stronger qualifiers here, Gasly and Sainz, to be the stronger midfield performers. With drivers like Behrman, Lawson, and Colapinto potentially rounding out the point scores. But anything can happen. All it takes is a driver to bin it in the wall at the end of Q1 to lock people in or out of Q2. Chaos at the start of the race can lead to an unlucky driver in the upper half of the points. And Alternatively, nothing could happen, and we get the Alpine Haas Racing Bulls Williams parade, which is very likely. I don't think it's realistic for a midfield podium, but hey, you never know. If it was going to happen anywhere, it's probably here or rain-soaked Silverstone, but whatever. Um, Shout out to Nico. But yeah, I think it's just they're not really in the podium contention, and if you want to be like, okay, who's going to do better? You just look at who's the better qualifier here. So I think, Gasly over Colapinto. Sainz definitely, I think, over Albon. I think Lawson will do better than Lindblad just because Lindblad's a rookie. And then Behrman over Ocon. Just 'cause Ocon's been horrible. Although Ocon does have a podium here. He got third place a few years ago. So, but that was a different time. It was a different time. So that is kind of the midfield. Sam, you've missed it, but basically, there's no race talk. It's all qualifying talk because Monaco's a parade.
Mm.
You can't overtake. So,
Gotcha.
um, after them, we got Audi and Cadillac. They're likely resigned to the back of the pack. They can't qualify well. And I'm not sure any amount of magic is going to help them. I think Q2 will be a win for either team if they manage to get there. A much needed win for Audi if they got there, and a pleasant surprise and improvement for Cadillac. And then there's Aston. Will the lack of speed for everyone bring Aston up to everybody's level? Will that allow them to then show off Newey's master design the way it was meant to? Will they get a shocking 1-2? Will the one in that 1-2 be Lance Stroll? Will Monaco 2026 be the weirdest race of all time? If you answered yes to any of these questions, please seek help. Aston is probably still going to be very bad and very slow. And that's all I got on that. So, yeah, I don't have faith in Aston at all. Although, Lance, he's kind of a Monaco king, all right? He's kind of the overtake king around Monaco. So, maybe he'll provide some excitement. Sam, you did miss the stat. Over the past 2 years, there have been 5 overtakes in Monaco. Lance Stroll is responsible for 3 of them.
Wow. That is.
So
I had no idea either.
that's my
So
goat.
qualifying really is the race.
Yes. And so you missed that too. I said the race for the win happens on Saturday. So and my final words, overall, Monaco happens on Saturday. And that's the time to lock in and watch one of the best qualifying sessions the sport has to offer. The problems with the actual race will continue to stand, and nothing will ever be done about them, since there's nothing that really can be done, except for slimming the cars down, which the FIA won't do, changing the track layout, which F1 won't do, or moving it from the calendar, which is just not realistic. It's never going to happen. So it's better to accept that the race for the wins happens on. It's better to accept that the race for the win happens on Saturday, and any excitement on Sunday is a nice bonus. Nate, I know you had some extra Monaco thoughts. Sam, if you have any questions as well for anything you missed, please.
Nate, go first. I'm looking over the doc right now.
Oh, well, damn. Okay.
I just didn't want you to wait for me to talk.
Oh, I got you. Okay. I like Ferrari in this. Not just due to the low speed, but I think in regards to the start, and the starting in execution of said starting procedure. I think that gives them some of my favor, at least. I also am looking forward to the Kimi and George head-to-head. I do want to give the favor to George here, or advantage to George here. I just think we saw a bit of Kimi's kind of youthful temperament in Canada. And I don't mean that in the sense of any like radio or comms. I think more so just an eagerness to pass. And I think...
No, continue and then I'll counterpoint.
I think in regards to pushing here on Monaco, and obviously I'm not talking about the race, but like qualifying at this point, because we kind of talked about how all it really takes is one error. The track is small, and it's it's very easy to make a mistake. I feel like if we're likely to see a Mercedes error, it'll come from Kimi. And that's about it for now. I don't really have anything to add for like McLaren. Yeah.
My counterpoint to your Kimi temperament is that I don't know if Kimi will be Can he push for an overtake because overtaking is possible at Canada while it's not at Monaco? So maybe he'll just accept and be a little more patient. And that's just something to think about. When you can overtake, you want to go for the overtake. In Monaco, you can't overtake. So maybe there's not much of maybe there's some cheats just to build some pressure, maybe pressure Jordan into a mistake. Could they be 1-2? But or at least one behind the other. But I don't know if going for a full overtake. I mean, maybe it could happen. Sunday could surprise us all, but in actuality, if you know that you're not going to make the move anyway, it may be better just to feint like you are, or hope that his pit stop, the person in front of you goes in for a pit, then your lap is really really good, and then they can't replicate it on their out lap. So, just something to think about in terms of that specific aspect. That being said, I do also like George here over Kimi, and that is more for the experience in Monaco.
Sorry, I dropped.
Oh, I basically just said that.
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Am I still in here?
You are.
Guys?
Nate, we can hear you.
I'm going to text him.
Okay. Well, he's saying that. I'm going to say, I think because of George's just
there we go.
great performances, I think that's going to get in his head. I think it's going to balance out the experience. And I like Kimi's youthfulness and his daringness. You mentioned, do you think Monaco is going to be the weirdest race of the year, weirdest race of all time. I think with maybe some poor decisions from different racers, from different drivers, that could happen. And when that happens, everything will be just unexpected at that point. So I still like, because Kimi at this point, until proven otherwise, he just has God on his side. Everything keeps like turning out to where he can win the races. I mean, the different safety cars and everything, especially.
Okay, okay. I like the confidence. You want to do us a favor, remind everyone who your favorite driver is?
Yeah. That would be Verstappen.
Well, let's not lie.
No. No, my favorite is Kimi, clearly. He's my son. I love
A
him.
little
I
biased.
hardly, I hardly know driving at all. However, I support him all the way, like any good
All right.
father does.
Well, then I think I know who your number one on the podium is going to be. Nate, as we move on to podiums, what I said to counter your point was that like with Canada, Kimi pushing for overtakes because he knows he can overtake. Whereas in Monaco, when you know that you can't overtake anyway, maybe he's a little more patient. Maybe he just tries to pressure Russell into a mistake instead of going for a stupid overtake. Because there's no leniency here, and he definitely knows that.
No, yeah. And that's why I said I wasn't really so much about the race, but like the sessions leading up to it, and just being eager to push right up to that limit, especially if Russell gets out to a better start than he does, like on the weekend, not off the line in any singular session. I just feel that eagerness would make him more likely between the two to make an error. That being said, that would also call for Russell having to have a better start in the first place, which not guaranteed. Like not very possible that Kimi comes out swinging first, and then that could lead Russell to be on that side of things, eager to close the gap and end up making an error. I do think it's less likely for Russell to kind of fall into that, but possible, very possible.
All right. Well, I mean, there you have it. There's our Monaco preview and our Monaco opinions. Let's get into the podium. Sam, you are still in first, which means you have to go first.
Sounds good. Well, until proven otherwise, and honestly, maybe even beyond that, I'm gonna keep with supporting my favorite. So Kimi's gonna get that unexpected first.
It's so funny
After
because you had Russell winning the first race and Verstappen winning the second.
you know what, Kimi proved me wrong, and I deserved it. And so from now on, but that being said, speaking of Verstappen, I'm gonna put him at third and Hamilton in second.
Okay. Okay. No Leclerc.
And then, no Leclerc. And I'm going to say, am I allowed to do like a style points
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
thing?
You have to be here
Okay.
to do a style points,
Okay.
unless I decide to arbitrarily override that rule.
Okay. So I don't know if this quite counts as a style point, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say at least one person on the grid at the start of the race has a DNS. Like as in like he just doesn't start off the race. Like maybe like engine malfunction or something. Like they're ready to race and then car just won't start.
So like what happened to Lindblad in Canada?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna say repeat of Lindblad.
Okay. Yeah.
Canada
I just couldn't think
incident.
of like the best way to explain it.
Repeat of Lindblad doesn't have to be Lindblad.
Right. Yeah. Right. That'll be my little style points.
All right. I have been toiling over this because I know. I'm like, do I want to go with what everyone's going with to win this race? Because I know what everyone's going with. or what I know what most people are kind of leaning towards.
Hmm.
And do I want to? And then if it doesn't work, do I just fall with everyone else, or do I want to take a stab at something different? And I think I'm gonna take a stab at something different. I'm thinking Lewis Hamilton is gonna win this race. I think Lewis Hamilton is gonna get his. I think the car's gonna agree with them. When the car has agreed with them, when the car's agreed with the Ferrari drivers, Lewis has been better. Lewis was way better in Canada. Leclerc had a horrible time in Canada. And I think that Lewis is going to be the better of the Ferrari drivers here. I do think that this is hard. I don't know if I want to have a split or if I want to have a 1-2
Mm.
because I don't have any faith in Ferrari. I don't have enough faith in Ferrari to do a 1-2, and I don't want to buy into the
Mm.
hype. So I think,
Mm.
but do I risk leaving Leclerc off if like Lewis is like, do I just scatter shot from the top 3 teams and hope for the best, or do I like trust in the Ferrari magic, get the 1-2 or like a 1-3, and then who do I put in that split? I've been thinking about this a
No,
lot.
don't
I
trust in the
really,
magic. Hearing you say that out loud, don't trust in the magic. Absolutely not. You can have
I
one on the
know, I know.
podium.
I'm really. Here's the thing:
At least a split at best.
Andrew gets a perfect, and well, hold on. If Andrew gets a perfect, and I know what he picks. If Andrew gets a perfect, he'll be ahead of me.
Hold up. You're being influenced by other people's picks.
Yeah, I am, but it's okay. If Andrew gets a perfect, he'll be ahead of me. If
Mhm.
Nat only needs 20 points to get ahead of me, though, then Hannah is only 30 points behind me. Meaning, if I don't get the first person right and they do, then it doesn't matter because my first is locked in. I'm just torn about where to put Leclerc.
Mm.
I think the curse is going to come back. I really do. I really just like, I have had this feeling all week that Leclerc is not going to do it. I don't know what it is. I've just had this feeling. And maybe it's because everyone else is believing him and I strive to be different. Um, so I am gonna say that Antonelli is gonna get second, and that Norris is gonna be in third. That's my podium. I think it's gonna be a very odd podium. It's gonna be a very unexpected podium. I think Lewis is gonna be the better Ferrari, and I'm gonna just eat having Leclerc off. I'm just gonna eat that, and I'm okay
You
with it.
know,
I've accepted that. I think it's gonna be Antonelli over Russell. I think Russell is just. I like Russell here. I know I've been talking. I've been saying that he's the better qualifier. I like Russell here a lot, but I have more belief in Antonelli, given given I think Canada's gonna just it hurts because Russell was the better driver and he still lost.
mm.
Um, I'm sticking with it. I'm going with it. I'm not. Yeah. So and you'll see what I mean by Andrew when I get to his points. It didn't really affect me because I was talking about his Hamilton placement. So,
Mm.
which I've already committed to being in first. So Nat, who is in third, she had Leclerc, Norris, and Antonelli.
Mm.
And then Hannah, who is in fourth, but barely, only by 3 points, had Leclerc, Russell, and Antonelli. And then Nate. Oh, I'm sorry, I totally missed Andrew. I was looking at the wrong. When I said just barely, I was looking at. I don't even know what I was looking at. Anyway, Andrew
Oh
is
my
next.
god, I can't believe. Yeah, I forgot. This is the year of freaking Sam because of Kimmy.
Andrew overtook you. Andrew and Antonelli,
Yeah.
Hamilton. This is what I was referencing. You had Hamilton in second, which is when I said it wouldn't matter because if he gets a perfect, I think he still overtakes me because of my Hamilton and Antonelli placements.
Mm.
So it doesn't even matter. And so Andrew had Antonelli, Hamilton, Russell, and then Nate. It is technically your turn, but I can let you have the honor of going last and being the thing everyone remembers from the show, or and do Dave's first, or we can stick to the order.
I'll leave that up to you. You can tell me
All right,
what to
well,
do.
we'll go with you. And I have a style point. I have a bold style point prediction.
Right.
Double digit overtakes.
double-digit overtakes with these regs is insane. With these
Double-digit
regs on
overtakes
this
with these
course,
regs, and and by the way, my entire prediction basically based on that no one can overtake.
yeah, insane work. Insane
um,
work.
so hey, you know, I'm going big. I'm going big. All right, Nate, let me hear them.
All right. So, sorry, give me a sec. I'm chewing. maybe we should have just done Dave first.
It's too late now.
Mm.
Is it Leclerc?
Yeah. So, I'm buying Leclerc stock. We can talk about Canada, but we already talked about Canada, right? The car was disagreeing. Like he did not feel right in the car all weekend, and he still turned out what, fourth? Like
It was an ugly fourth,
all
but yeah.
an ugly. It's yeah, an ugly fourth, right? But like fourth place is still fourth place. He doesn't, and that's with the car like almost all the way disagreeing with him. I totally understand the logic for Lewis being, or the point of Lewis being the better Ferrari when the car's agreeing with them. My thing is, the car doesn't even need to agree all the way with Charles. It just needs to agree better than it did previously. Like, and for that reason, the hometown hero, it's already hard to overtake, or darn near impossible to overtake on this course with this current reg set. Anyways, that's making me a believer in the hometown hero. I am not a believer in the Ferrari magic. I am a believer in the Charles Leclerc magic.
So we're
So
like
I have
opposite.
Leclerc first. Yeah,
I
well,
believe in
exact
Lewis,
opposite.
but not Ferrari, and you believe in Leclerc, but not Ferrari.
Yeah. Um, Now, my second place pick, I have to follow the trend here. I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna piss me off because then it's gonna flip. If we were to rewind to last year, right? And I put Lando at first because I believed in Norris's mental fortitude to hit that regain that he needed. Everyone was down talking to him, saying how he's blowing this. This is your one chance, one guaranteed shot at like a world championship bid, and you're just bidding it. Piastri's killing it, so on and so forth, right? And those things were pretty accurate at the time, but I was like, no, like I believe in Norris's mental fortitude to regain and put it back together, and he did so in just absolutely commanding fashion. I don't think George is like that. Not that George is a bad driver. George is a great driver. He's definitely mentally tough, but like I don't think he has the same fortitude, and I also think that the pressure's a little hotter than it is, than it was for Lando.
Think so?
I think so. I mean, George, has been the next in line behind Sir Lewis Hamilton, right? He's finally like the supposed to be the lead guy at Mercedes. And then on top of that, too, these regs springboard Mercedes to the top of the team standings, the top of the constructor standings. And he is losing to a second year Kimi Antonelli. Whereas with Lando, Oscar has this winning pedigree from all the lower divisions, coming all the way up. And on top of that, Oscar was not just a second year driver, but a third year driver at that. There's more experience accumulated with Oscar. Um, so, and on top of that too, I'd like the age gap between Lando and Oscar is not that big. Um, so in the case of George and Kimmy here, like he's losing to a kid as far as most people are concerned. And I'm not trying to discredit Kimmy in any way, shape, or form. I just, in regards to why I think the pressure's really tacked on to George, Kimmy's playing with house money. Kimmy is playing with house money. If Kimmy doesn't win, the drivers' championship, is it a disappointment? For sure. But it'll be chalked up to, you know what, though? He was right there. This is a huge step in his development. Uh, did he have it and lose it? Yeah, but it's literally only his second year. If George loses this, it's a catastrophe. It's like, okay, he really wasn't, he's not like that. Like, he has been here all this time. He has all the experience. He had all the tools as proven by his teammate, and he just didn't have it. He couldn't put it together.
I
Um,
I will say,
Go ahead.
well, zero podium. I have a comparing the pressure on George to Lando. I do have a thought.
Okay. But so I finally have to follow the trend. I know this is gonna piss me off, but I gotta put Kimmy at second. I'm gonna be really freaking frustrated if this doesn't manifest. I'm gonna be so mad, but I'm putting
Hey,
Kimmy
me
at
and you
second.
both. Me and you both.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really upset. And this is where it gets complicated. This is where it gets complicated.
Okay,
Uh,
well, do it. Why don't you do it with me? Why don't we go down together?
I, that's what I'm thinking. I like that's really what I'm thinking because I
Look,
can't imagine Ferrari and Lewis's side of the garage stringing together two consecutive like really good results. Not that that's any fault of Lewis's. Like I don't think it'd be by any fault of Lewis's. I think that something silly is going to happen where he has like an issue with the car, or like an error caused by somebody else on the grid. Something's going to happen that either drops Lewis off the podium, or God forbid, causes a DNF. I don't have him here, and I don't want to put George there. Every time I put George there, he has failed me. And at a certain point, like I really do have to sell. Um, I don't think he hits the regain this weekend. I'm not ruling out a regain for the entirety of like the remainder of the season. I just don't think it happens here. Um, so yeah, I gotta hop in a boat with you, Max. I gotta put
all
Norris
right,
there. I gotta put Norris at third.
we're going down together.
Yeah.
We are going down together. My thought about the Lando pressure is Lando came into F1 the same year George did, so they're the same age. They've been in the sport for the
hmm
same amount of time. Lando had
Yep.
the best car by far and a reputation as being a serial bottler. And that final
Right.
point is, in my opinion, what makes his pressure worse than George. Because he had that reputation to break.
But you could also argue that that makes it better for Lando, because it's like, okay, he's just being Lando, whereas George does not have that reputation of being a serial bottler. This is how he gets that reputation of being a serial bottler.
Oh, Lando got that reputation from its start. So
Yeah, right. Right. Like that's what I mean. Like he had already kind of garnered that. Like, and that was already part of what was, heckling
which
him.
is, in my opinion, is what I think makes it a little worse. Which he overcame. So
Yeah, which he
um,
over. I feel like it's like, all right, at least in that case, all the cards are out on the table
yeah.
as is. In George's case, that is not out there yet, and I think it is monumentally worse getting that, and getting that with such high stakes up for grabs. Like, because Lando had already earned that before world championship contention was
Hmm.
firmly in the picture. Like that's the difference for me.
Yeah, that's fair. We maybe we should have maybe during the summer break. That might be a good summer break episode yap session to talk about kind of the similarities between this year and last year. Um but we do have to get to Dave's podium's prediction. Does anyone want to take also do you have style points?
I think I'm gonna. I think I want to tack on and go that I think George causes the issue for Lewis not being on the podium. I don't know the severity of the degree, but we are going to point our like by the time the weekend's over or the weekend is done, and the last car crosses the checkered flag, in one piece. I think that we are going to be pointing our fingers at George, at whatever happens to George, causing Lewis's podium miss.
Okay, so I'm phrasing it as Russell causes Hamilton to miss out on podium.
And I think both Aston Martins finished the race.
Okay. Now,
and that is all.
Is it and/or do both have to happen?
Both have to happen. I'm going all in.
Okay, and in all caps.
Yeah, this is all one. Like I don't want to split it. That is how the weekend goes.
It's gonna be so funny if the Russell thing actually does come true, but Fernando doesn't finish.
I'm gonna be so mad. The track. This is the shortest track on the calendar, right? And they've supposedly figured out all their power unit issues. Like this has to happen. This has to be the weekend that both cars finish.
Quantum leap in Canada, and they go dead last.
Look. I don't give a shit about the. Oh, excuse me. I don't care.
It's fine. It's not that big of a deal.
I don't care about the results. They can be bottom of the barrel, for the rest of this year. As long as Honda has their stuff together, that is all that matters to me. I am invested in the 5-year plan. All right, I'm here for the 5-year progression of the car around the Honda power unit.
Well, speaking of Aston, speaking of Honda, speaking of Fernando and Lance, Dave has both Aston Martin drivers on the podium. Would you like to guess where they are?
Dude, he has to. Please tell me he put Fernando. He probably put Lance in first, didn't he? He put Lance in first.
Sam, is that a guess?
Good call.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. So I will say he does have Stroll on the podium, but he hasn't done him third.
Oh, thank God.
Alonso in second, and then Gasly in first. His reasoning.
I knew it. I was gonna say yes, Pierre in first, and oh my God. Sorry. Go ahead. Give me the reason.
His reasoning. It's my ideal fuck, marry, kill, but I won't say who is who. And I responded, I think I know who is who. So we'll leave that to the imagination. Leave in the comments what order you think Dave has them in. And we'll be back in a week to talk about what did or didn't happen in Monaco. Thank you both. Thank you both for being here. And good night.